855-353-3139.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Just to be clear, folks, I'm holding on to all the gold and silver I have, and I believe that the globalists are manipulating the economy where you're going to have depressionary bubbles imploding, inflationary bubbles imploding into depressionary type economics, but you'll also see commodities spike during that as well. So that's why I've never sold a piece of gold or silver that I've gotten, and most of it I bought when it was, silver was $6 an ounce and gold was $350. And I've still bought throughout. I bought when it was up to $2,000. I bought when it was down at $1,200. But it could be the way Dent says. It's just that now there's a lot less resources, and so things that do have intrinsic value and are portable, I believe are going to have high value. That's my view on it. So I believe those that have invested in gold and silver as a hedge against uncertain times have done well. I believe I've done well. You notice I live in Texas. You notice I'm in nutraceuticals. Everything he was recommending. I mean, I try to fund our operation to get the word out by thinking smart so that I can do that. There are not many other people that have ever been able, from grassroots level, to fund an operation the way I've done it without major corporate backing. I mean, we weren't created by News Corps, that was already worth tens of millions of dollars like Fox News. This all just came from you supporting us. So I think my economic views have some value, and that's my 2 cents. Matt in Oklahoma says he supports Obama. Thanks for holding. Matt, go ahead. I mean, do you really support Obama?
Well, let me go ahead and start off and say, I did support him. I voted for him in even both elections.
To prove you're not racist?
Specifically, yes, because, you got to do that these days. But ultimately, my reasoning was, I'd actually lived through the Bush years and was, one of those people that was kind of pissed off the way that whole thing went. I personally, due to the way the economy, the industry I was in was devastated when the economy was destroyed with all of the resources being sent overseas to basically rebuild Iraq. The cost to build houses.
No, I get it. So you voted against the Republicans as a referendum on what they did, and I totally get it. The problem was Obama works for the very same people and was meant to sell the left on completing that takeover. Remember, Mitt Romney thanked Jonathan Gruber.
Right. And that's actually why I wanted to call in, because a lot of times I realize he's going to be the poster child for, the darts to be thrown. But you've also got to realize that you probably have a lot of people that are, middle of the road that watch the show. And if you always toss out ad hominem attacks against the left or the right, you're kind of playing into the very system that you're lamenting against.
Well, I think that's a fair question. I didn't support the Republicans under Bush, even though they claim to be more libertarian. And if the Republicans get in and become a virulent form of cancer, like the Democrats have become, I mean, the Republicans weren't saying 2 + 2 = 5, and I should turn all my guns in. If they act like that, I'll go after them. I'm going after Boehner and all of them for backing Obamacare right now. So I'm trying to go after the Republican leadership to try to get good libertarians in through the Republican Party to try to actually change things. And so I see the entire establishment lined up against the Tea Party for a good reason. The Tea Party's got a lot of good people in it, and it's got some good, sound economic ideas in it. Now, are they a little Islamophobic? Yes. Do they like wars? Yes. But that's changing. The Ron Paul revolution lives on in the Tea Party that the Republicans tried to take over and failed. And so all I'm saying is I'm trying to fix this peacefully, because between the Republican and Democratic leadership, we don't have a prayer in hell. So we've got to try to take the states back. We've got to try to take over the Republican Party. If the Democrats had some insurrection in them to turn things around, I would support that. What do you say to that?
Well, I entirely agree with everything you just said there. Ultimately, the real problem is that we don't live in a democracy. We live in a plutocracy ruled by
Stay there. I'm going to come back to you, Matt. And then we're going to go to everybody else that's holding, like Chuck, Michael J. Douglas, and others. Sick of Hollywood folks surrounding the president. I don't care who they are. We want results. We want transparency. We want freedom. And we don't want unsustainable entitlements for foreign banks or illegal aliens or anybody else. I got a report here in my stack where Illinois' pension funds for the government are $101 billion. You could take all the money over the next 20 years, it's in the report, and it wouldn't pay for that. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get the money. They'll default on it or they'll devalue the dollar down to the point you get maybe 10% of it. And look, a lot of folks that are 60 years old been paying into their public pension for all these years. Sorry, it got siphoned off into fraudulent investments, and you're getting paid back too much. You got robbed. Why do you think government's buying armored vehicles and digging in for war? Because they know this country's going to go crazy, and they know the vets are going to get mad when their pensions get cut off. I'm going to go back to your phone calls. Matt was making some really good points. He was an Obama supporter, but they always counter back, well, what about the Republicans? I get it. We're going to have him finish up. Then we'll go to Chuck and Jay and Michael and Bill and others. Toll-free number to join us, 800-259-9231. Bill wants to talk about Ferguson and the police. Michael wants to talk about Dent, but Dent's gone. We'll get his question. We got Jay, who's an Obama supporter. Chuck's an Obama supporter. We're going to go to them in a minute. But since this got brought up, Kit Daniels, one of our great intrepid writers for PrisonPlanet.com and Infowars.com, noticed this article by Paul Watson. Gruber, key consultant to Obama in 2008 presidential campaign. Gruber visited Obama's office at the Democratic Party's most influential healthcare expert. And that's what is basically being said right now. And we have Obama saying it on tape. Ex-Obama aide demolishes New York Times claim that Gruber's role was limited. MIT professor was the guru of healthcare. Now, before Paul even did this article, we're thinking on the same page. Kit was doing his article thinking if there's all these videos of Gruber saying he worked with Obama and Obama saying he worked with Gruber as a key architect in all of this, then there'll probably be articles about it. And Kit found the article Tuesday, July 10th, 2007, for Democrats, Pragmatism on Universal Health Care. And it goes on to say that Jonathan Gruber basically engineered it. On the other side was the economist from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, who has become possibly the party's most influential health care expert. Kit's headline ought to be, Washington Post said Gruber was Obama's top expert in 2007. That's before he even got elected, folks. But I mean, this is a great headline. Gruber, key consultant to Obama in 2008 presidential campaign. But even before that, this is incredible. Listen to this. On the other side was economist from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, who has become possibly the party's most influential healthcare expert and a voice of realism in its internal debates. But they're saying he's not key. Obama says he's key. Pelosi says he's key. Harry Reid says he's key in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. In all the videos we played last hour, and that mix-up, mash-up that John Bound put out that was excellent, but we should add that to all these articles that just came out. People can see the facts. And then they've got the nerve to sit here and say they've never heard of him now. Far be it from me to lecture you on politics, Senator Edwards, Jonathan Gruber recalled saying, and then he just said that. He told Edwards that whether the merits of Emmanuel's idea, that's Ezekiel, it just would not be politically viable. Instead, Gruber argued for a more incremental approach, like the one in Massachusetts he helped write. Then it goes through it. How he was the top guy, how he was involved in '94 with the Clintons, how he's the top guy. Top guy, top guy. Now let's go to this clip of Stephen Ratner telling MSNBC that Gruber was, in fact, the, quote, guru in putting together the Affordable Rape the American People Greatest Con Game in History Act.
This is taken care of by the president, you know, engaging in politics 101. He's a smart guy. We used him. He helped us do a lot of really good things, but he said some stupid things. Instead of Steve pretending like he didn't even know who he was.
Look, I think that's exactly the point. Jonathan Gruber was, back in the day, in 2009, the guru on health care. As you said, he designed the Massachusetts plan for Romney. I think if you go back and look at the Washington Post or the New York Times or anything from that period, you will find Jonathan Gruber's name all over it as both someone who's a leading expert on health care, quoted by everybody, as someone who the White House was using. I don't think we knew the dollar numbers that he was paid at the time, but he was certainly, I remember that when I was in the White House, he was certainly viewed as an important figure in helping to put Obamacare together. And so it's exactly what you said. The problem is not that Gruber helped them put Obamacare together.